Welcome back. So we are going to dive into Batgirl Volume 6, Number 7, The Book of Shiva, Chapter 1. Writer Tate Brombell, artist Isaac Goodhart, colorist Mike Spicer. The second arc starts here, spinning out of Mother, the first arc's world-shattering finale. Lady Shiva unveils her true secret origins to Batgirl for the very first time, courtesy of special guest artist Isaac Goodhart. Don't miss the definitive history of Lady Shiva. Those are bold words. So I wonder if Bromble, has been talking. Well, I guess he had to talk to editorial and have all of this laid down. So that means that going forward, everyone's going to be referring back to this particular history of Shiva, whether we wanted it or not. I do like the cover where she is reading and listening to the book. And then in the reflection, we have Shiva right there as if she is writing it down. Not much to say, not because I'm lazy, but I honestly don't know that but it just did not create in me any worthwhile sentiments. I did like that Cass is talking to Steph on her way to her next destination, and at the very end says, "Okay, love you too." So, which means, of course, Stephanie said, "I love you." Now I know there are shippers out there, so you can take that as you will. But also, I think friends do also end calls with "I love you." So, just a nice moment. I loved that. How kind of Shiva to give both the book in writing as well as narrating it for Cassandra. This is something that some teachers actually do, and some teachers recommend, English teachers, I guess, as you are reading perhaps maybe a more difficult thing, maybe a play or I don't know, Pride and Prejudice or something like that. And that I don't know if this was her intent to be kind and help her out, but also I'm sure it makes the situation come alive for Cass because she certainly is envisioning all of this as well. Yeah, really not much to say about this chapter one, except, we've got some tragic backstory naturally. Parents are being killed. They're really, it's dangerous to be a parent, I think. And the beautiful love between two sisters, which is love. And I'm sure that nothing bad is going to happen to her sister at all. We also see that this small town has big city problems like thugs extorting others for protection money. So I guess that just happens elsewhere. But we're just getting started. And to be honest, it's not necessarily a story that I'm super excited to read because it is called Batgirl, and yet this is more of a Lady Shiva spinoff tale, but here we are. I am going to give this 7 out of 10 mother daughter spats, and fingers crossed this is interesting. Maybe this picks up from here. So let us move on to our next and final book, which a little bit more goes on. This is Birds of Prey, Volume 5, Number 21, On the Run, Part 2 of 5. Writer Kelly Thompson, artist Sami Basri, inker on pages 6 through 20, Vicente Cifuentes, and colors Adriano Lucas. A new villainous team up takes the spotlight. A new villain team, fashioned specifically to take out the Birds of Prey, has emerged in dramatic fashion. And with the birds deliberately scattered across the globe investigating both real and false leads, they are more vulnerable than ever. With the strongest of them already fallen, how can any of them survive what's coming? And I do appreciate, so I like this particular cover, though it is deceiving. The other cover, if you remember, was not deceiving because it makes it seem like these two are the focus, but they are not really. So cool cover, but doesn't tell us what's inside. And I was just thinking it's interesting how wrong Barbara Gordon was because everyone knew it was a trap and that these are false leads. And they're like, well, let's just investigate it. Anyway, we're capable, we can do it. And my gosh, how everything has fallen after that. So it'll be interesting conversations. Copperhead, OMG, I cannot even recall the last time I have seen Copperhead. Welcome back, Copperhead. I do like his particular design here. And of course, he's got the whole hissing business going on as well. So, nice to see you. It's super fun. I don't know who these other people are, upon first glance, sure does look like Velvet Tiger. But I don't think so, because Velvet Tiger didn't really have these sorts of powers. And the fact that she could keep up with Cass for a little while was interesting. Plus, didn't really ever remember whoever this person is. Laurent, and yeah, the other person is just not named. So we are unsure of those people. And then we all, which that was a pretty cool scene, where she's running around Cass, this unnamed person with stripes, and is hitting her. And then Cass is finally able to stop her. We also have this tech person. Let's see where we are here. Goes by Damon Prime, and he is very particular about being called Damon Prime, which means there's some sort of Damon out there. So, because whenever I think of Damon, well, whenever I think of the word Prime, I think of course, Infinite Crisis, any of the crises really. And then I also think that, oh, it's kind of a copy of somebody else. So, whoever another Damon is, but definitely tech-ish. Um, Maybe not. I mean, calculator was my guess, but uh perhaps not. But he loves tech so much that he gets upset when his crew brings him paper. So interesting. Definitely the villains were chosen with the heroes in mind, as the solicitation let us know. Dinah ends up disobeying a direct order from Barbara, and I mean, nothing really works out because Copperhead runs out on his own, and then she is nearly attacked by some gadgets there, but is able to scream them away. And then she ends up coming back because of the situation with Barda. But I do wonder if there's going to be a discussion about the fact that she was insubordinate, once the birds regroup. But then you have to question about power dynamics and who actually is team leader, because it's been a bit confused as to, because sometimes Dinah defers to Barbara, but it seems like Dinah is really the team leader. So I feel like that needs to be cleared up. If the destruction of the birds was the primary mission, Barda clearly seemed to be the priority so that she could be used in this way to destroy the rest of the team, because she is now piloted by Ink, as we see at the end. Barda falls from orbit. She's still alive. She gets shot with something. I don't know. Like, I guess now we know, because I was confused what Ink was trying to do, but it seems like Ink was just trying to open up something in order to infiltrate her system. And so here we are. So I wonder what's going to happen here. Um, I do like that Babs gives this mission alert to other members of the team that have appeared, which is interesting. Is Constantine, was he a member of the team? I mean, he's helped out, but here we go. But I wonder why she wouldn't gather them with her in one location and then wait for Dinah, Sin, and Batgirl to come back and regroup, because then they would have a pretty large group. But instead, she's just telling them to secure their locations wherever they are and don't come in. But we'll see, because some people seem like they, like Zealot, for instance, says no chance of that. So I wonder if they will disobey her as well, because I feel like you're going to need all hands on deck to fight Barda potentially. Okay, so I think, yeah, I still like am having fun with this, and it's it was definitely more action oriented, and I remember my previous issue. With the previous issue, one of my cons or negative comments was that We were told everyone was being attacked, but we could only see Barda. And so finally we get to see that, how everyone is being attacked and by whom. So we get to see that. And we're getting more information on what's happening. But definitely, I think the main purpose of this issue is the ending with Barda. And yeah, it's not going to be a good time. And I really liked the art on this. So yeah, looking forward to what the future holds, I will say. And is there anything else I wanted to say? Don't think so. Nope. Uh, so yeah, I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 birds, and we'll see. Hopefully, issue number 3 starts picking up in terms of giving us more information and pushing the plot forward. So, okie dokie. Well, now I will move on to Stella's Dungeon of Smut, brought to you by Hornacek's Fried Calamari Sticks. And there have been 3 that I've read since we last spoke, and I've given them all 3 stars. Um, Double Play by C.L. Rose, which step siblings are involved. That's one of my things. Captured Love by Emery Page, and Revenge Era by Brittany Nicole, which is a bit nuts because the lead female, is cheated on, and she gets revenge by getting together with her ex-boyfriend's father. But then, of course, it turns into more. So there you go. Now they're married. But how strange. And then A Major Puck Up by Brittany Nicole, and that is connected because the father, this is his daughter, and the daughter gets together with her father's best friend, which was revenge for what he had done. And actually, I will say about A Major Puck Up that it is the most complicated romance novel I've ever read. It seemed like the writer had a bunch of tropes in a bowl and picked them out at random, and then as a challenge decided to, like, let's make all these fit. So the revenge, she's a virgin female character, and he doesn't know who she is, so she seduces him. So one night stand turns into more, but then he finds out who she actually is and feels used, obviously. Then they break it off, but then there's longing for a year, and he comes and gets together, so then it's like a secret relationship. But she doesn't want to tell her father. There's also other stuff going on. There's major drama, and with both of them wanting things in their lives that they can't necessarily have. And so they break up again. Then a secret baby is dropped on his doorstep later on. Then she gets her life together and wants him back. And then she's, of course, hurt because it seems like he, had a love child while they were broken up. Ends up being his live-in nanny. They rekindle. She's in a car accident at one point. It's nuts. They are revealed, and to the father, he comes clean with the father, and happily ever after. But boy, there was a lot to get through. But it was 521 pages, so I guess she had the page count for sure. So I mean, would I recommend any of those? Not necessarily, but they all were fun. And then in terms of my literature recommendations, I've just read one, which seems very sad. Um, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. And prepare yourself for that. I Tom and I will be covering that on June's episode of Required Reading with Tom and Stella, so you can check that out. And I just want to say that even though I said I only read one, it was just up to this point because I'm reading other books that aren't romance novels. I'm reading one right now. So just so you know, I've not fallen off literature. Okay. Well, that is it for me. Remember, you can send any questions or comments to backrolltheoracle@gmail.com. Like the show on Facebook or follow it on Twitter at backrolltheoracle. Subscribe to the show on YouTube for an uncut version. It's back. Follow the Batman Universe on Facebook and Twitter as well, and support the Batman Universe by subscribing to Patreon. Once again, thanks to Mile High Comics for sponsoring Backroll the Oracle, the Barbara Gordon podcast. And until next time, fly on, Babs lovers.